Everyone understands the importance of building trust at workplace, but not everyone's clear on how to go about building authentic trust in their teams and organizations. I would like to share the framework I've been using to help organizations and teams build authentic trust. It's called the currency of trust. And this framework was inspired by the concept of love language. And if you haven't heard of love language, it's quite simple. The love language dictates that the way you prefer to receive love versus the way you prefer to give love may be different than the person you're in a relationship with. So understanding the person that you would like to share love with, what their needs are, and how they identify love and experience love is critical in understanding, delivering, and experiencing love in the most meaningful and relevant manner possible. For instance, growing up in a Korean culture, my love language has been food. My mother has never said, I love you, but I don't need to hear I love you from my mother because it has shown up in a bowl, on a plate for the last 53 years I've been alive. My mother slaves over the stove for days and hours to make sure that she pours her love into something that I can eat, that I can consume. My wife, on the other hand, her love language is literal. She needs to hear the phrase, I love you. And she also enjoys physical affections of hugs and touches. So culturally, we were coming from two different worlds with two very different love languages. So we had to actually have a conversation about how would you like to receive love versus give love, and also be able to tell each other, this is what I need from you. It got us closer. It took away some of the confusions, the assumptions and expectations that usually leads to very unhealthy things. So the framework of currency of trust works the same way. It's understanding how someone would interpret your behavior, your communication as trustworthy. What they need to see from you to be able to build trust with you. And also what you need. And how you would like to deliver trust versus how you would like to receive trust. Now, in the work that I've been doing in this field for a number of years, what I found is that this can vary quite a bit. Industries, demographics, culture, geographic locations, and the type of work people do, people have very different ways of identifying and receiving and experiencing trust. Some may say, the way I build trust with someone is if that person delivers what they're supposed to deliver at the level of quality they promised. Are they really delivering what they promise? Walking the talk. To some people, it's not about the quality, it's more about the promptness. Did you get it done on time? We'll worry about quality later, but did you actually meet the deadline that we agreed to? So promptness is how they identify trust. And to some, it's got nothing to do with work, nothing to do with the functional aspect of the work. It has everything to do with, are you connecting with me on a human level? So when you say, how you doing? Do you really mean it? Are you actually sticking around long enough to hear how I'm doing? Or are you simply walking by, throwing a how you doing and not really care how I'm really doing? So checking in on me is simply performative. So for them, they need to know that you actually care. They need to know that you actually want to know how they're doing. So the various different ways of people defining trust is how you get to understanding building authentic trust within your teams and organization. Now, why is it important to take this time and the intentionality to actually go to this extent to understand trust at every level? Is because once you deposit enough trust the way they value, it's going to help you when you encounter those moments of challenges and friction. When you really need to come together as a team and get through the challenges at hand. That's when you get to withdraw from the bank or the repository of trust where you have built over time with that person or with that team, so that you can come together and trust each other to get through the tough times. When things are going well, people tend to not care about trust as much because things are going well. But we know all in life is not always perfect or smooth. So trust comes in as a critical component to help teams and organizations get through those rough patches and challenges of friction. And also, by doing this investigative discovery work of what trust factors, behaviors your team values, you're relying on your own data, not some big data that's been done on Fortune 500 company that has very little similarities or connections to your team, your people, and your organization. So by asking and gathering how people in your organization and team like to receive and deliver trust, you're also building a database of those values that are cherished and practiced within your organization so that you can make sure that decisions are informed by these data points and the actions you're taking is grounded in your organization's purpose and the values that your team cherishes and practices. So if you're interested in learning more about the concept of currency of trust and how this framework may be able to help your team and your organization build authentic trust that is grounded in your purpose and aligned to your core values, hit me up. I would love to help.